music for Lagos.
102.3 Max FM.
How do you avoid being the architect of your problems, especially if you're trying to, travel out and you don't want to fall into hands that would lead you astray?
Yeah, no.
Well, we have Raymond here who's going to guide us properly on how to identify the, genuine travel agents from the fake ones out there.
Say if you never reach your turn, you no go know how the thing they pain. Many times I don't say, make I follow do this Japa thing. But what shock me be say, agent whenever reach my 12 or past on Milan Bridge.
Now they tell you everything.
Now you go come
nothing.
He go advise you.
Everything.
And what's the investment? They'll fair be you. They'll be you. What do you call that thing? Agent something fee first. Consultation fee. You understand? Why even tell me say you go do that COVID? Wait a minute, that
COVID test. Yeah.
You do.
First of all, I want to ask: is there an association? Do you guys tell each other that
good question.
this
On
guy,
a belong to association. We don't know on ourselves.
We know say this one, Baba for collecting money.
I wouldn't say there isn't because there are a lot of platforms where people identify with.
Okay.
But
how do you know tell us the secret? How can you
the
tell?
truth is it's always you need to be very sensitive to identify the fakes out there. That's why I mentioned desperation when I started. When you're desperate, you are beclouded. You can't exactly see the true things. I've met clients have been linked to me who gave their sad experiences with these fake
Give
agents.
us a sad experience and how that person should have spotted red flags.
Okay.
Sad experience, horrible experience,
A particular client who is currently in Canada, when we met, the first application she did, the agent, she had finished from school, had a degree. But then the agent told her that they needed to tell a story that would, reach out to the emotions of the visa officer so that they could be empathetic and then approve the application, forgetting that this is not a family meeting. You understand? So they told the story. One key thing, particularly if you're going as a student, if you have number of years, like a gap from when you've left school to when you're reapplying to study, you will need to explain that gap.
Yeah.
She had gone through 4-year experience in the university, aside every other thing, and then you want to tell a story to the visa officer that after her grade 12, which is O levels, they had family issues, and then she could not continue studies, so she needed to go into business, support the family, and all, and then that gap. And so that story, after, if of course that application was refused because it didn't sit down well.
Didn't match
Yeah,
up.
bros. Say they say a chicken with broken leg. They know they sell it for home. So they sell it from very far place. Now, when these people they come apply for a hand, they tell them, they give them orientation because most of them when they travel like this, they spoil us outside the country. Now they give them orientation at all. I don't have to just do a visa application, do everything, but give them maybe they work out.
Like I tell people, I'm not an agent, I'm a consultant. So it goes beyond just having your money, your documents and all. I share a good relationship with my clients. Even those who are in Canada currently, we still have correspondence because it's about relationships, it's about understanding the mindset. For some persons, they get depressed along the process. And you need to, as the one who has their lives in quotes in your hands, you need to give them life, even when they are not saying life. So it's part of what I do to my clients, and so it's quite engaging. It could be draining because you meet clients who want to ask you questions till 12 a.m. And you like,
you know what they're funny for this thing. You go tell person how you go take better for finish for this one. You go enter desert, full desert.
Exactly.
They go. Those ones they go through desert.
There are several.
They see them having.
And what they bring me to say? Some people they'll tell you say, okay, you go pay 10 million. They'll come deposit 700,000. They'll come disturbance of 15 million. At the end of the day, they can't go find who tell and say no, collect that 10, not mine anymore. With 2.5. That's something we want to do. I go do it for you. After I don't come waste like 1 year process. Some people don't even get original certificate of school. Why they will get mine? Tell you say they'll manufacture them. From school we no go.
Now those fake ones be that. Now those fake agents.
You understand?
So when they're asking you, when they're giving you, is it the wrong document or how do you just give me two secrets of the trade? 2 red flags. This guy is scamming you.
First off, documentation is key. Okay. Because the kind of application is not like the US application where you have to go for an interview. Your documents speak for you. Okay. So you have to have them right.
So you need to know, do your own research.
Oh, definitely.
Number 2, if he's or if she's doing you something like this, what exactly? another red flag.
You're single, and then you had met an agent who told you that the best way to go about this is to lie that
You're married.
you have a spouse.
Okay.
And so the error would be using your family name as your spouse's name. I've had a client like that. In fact, this.
Just one small mistake like that.
The US, Canada, the UK, they share a common database.
Yeah.
So one of the key questions I ask my clients: have you applied or have been refused visas to the US, the UK before now? Remember, or just try to remember, because if you do not, and then you put in an application,
they will remind you.
They will get it from the database, and then a mail correspondence reach out to you. Why did you leave out?
So you can't even change your name to apply again.
Because everything is system now.
If you are going to change your name, you need an affidavit to cover up that. It has to be a genuine reason why you change name.
So let me say this thing plenty pass the way agent they tell us. When one say consultation fee 500,000.
There are some applicants you will just see their case and you know that this one to be difficult.
I know if you travel again.
Okay, but the question I want to ask now, obviously from everything you've been saying, is obvious that is a study route that is quite popular with those who want to live.
It's faster, but it's just more expensive.
What about people who feel now they can't go through the study route and they feel that there are other means which they can go through? Because some people are already feeling intimidated. You know, when you talk about studies, because they don't have that qualification and everything, they feel they don't stand a chance to fly out of the country to go get a better life. So what are other options?
You could visit or you could work.
Okay.
Now, for the visit now, there's a new policy. In the past, if you go into Canada as a visitor, and if for some reasons you get a job, you cannot apply for a work permit while in Canada. You need to come back to your country and then run that process and re-enter as a visitor, as a worker rather. But now, while in Canada, you get a good job, you could always run that process and switch. So if you have what it takes to go as a visitor, the average process time should be 2 to 3 months. It could be lesser, it could be more, depending on IRCC. IRCC is the Immigration, Refugee and Citizenship Canada. So they have the financing on the actual process time. Some applications could stay 1 week. Recently did an application 1 week. They asked the client to go do medicals. Once they tell you to do medicals, I mean, that's a sure approval. So it all depends, you know. There's a whole...
Ray, you got to come back.
I just have one word for them. That a man that killed his native doctor, that's keeping him alive, should not forget that his enemies are still alive too.
And you a key warrior because it's foul. Remember,
no, if you kill a warrior because of family misunderstanding, in the time of war, they go begin look for him.
So I really enjoy you. You want to add Oracle consultation to travel?
No, travel agent. So can I be consulting for you so that
add Oracle consultation? Well, thank you so much, Ray, for joining us this morning.
Hit music for Lagos. 102.3 Max FM.